Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. It doesn't seem like it wants to pick up my... There you go. Oh, that's not even the... Hold on. Not even the right screen. I apologize, just give me 1 second. There you go. Cool. There's always some technical problems in the beginning, I don't understand why. But nonetheless, here we go. How's everyone doing today? We actually have some people in the chat to begin with, so that's good. Good to see. I'm sure you can hear me. Just put a 1 in the chat if you can. Or, you know, just tell me you can hear me in the chat, it's fine. I know it is a bit delayed, but we do have some stuff to get into. So let's get over that first. I'll go over Bitcoin, Ethereum versus Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then I'll take requests. And the time in between the delay in the chat and the stream, I'll just go over some traditional markets. But really quickly, let's just look at Bitcoin. And this is Bitcoin. What I was looking for the other day was essentially losing this point of control and just dumping right back down to this value area low of this daily ranges, which is exactly what we got. I said this on Friday's stream. So this is essentially what we've been looking for, and this is good to see, and we're getting a bit of a bounce off of it. I don't believe there's any divergences building on the RSI. Let me just start up my RSI once again, TDI. Yeah, no divergences forming, so not too much. We're just having a bounce off the value or low, shorts closing, and things of that nature. But just be wary that we do have this fair value gap up in here on the daily term time frame. I'll take a look on the 4-hour to get a bit of a clearer picture, just in case we do actually come up and fill this gap. And we'll take a look at, yeah, there's not too much on the actual 4-hour time frame. We could just take this and put it on the 4-hour time frame right here, which it is already tapping into. And yeah, we're essentially just having a bit of a, just forming a lower high on this downtrend, bouncing off that big support level. Audio seems fine. Hello sounds good. All right, good to see everyone. Oh, 7 views. Wow. Cool. I guess the bot chat is actually making this channel more active, which is great. Usually we start off with like 1. So it's good to see the theories actually work. Cool. So just be wary that we do have this fair value gap with targets up to 20,500 roughly on USD perp. If we're going to fill that, but let's just go to short-term time frames just to see even smaller time frames. We do have a swing failure pattern on the 15 minutes, so just be wary of that right here. I don't believe any divergences formed, however. No, we did have a bearish divergence as well. So the first take profit level, or the first target of the swing failure pattern, is going to be the 618 from this little move right here. And then you're essentially looking at, I think we even might have hit that already. Yep, so we already essentially hit our theoretical first take profit level or target of the swing failure pattern, which would be the 618. And then after the 618, you're going to be looking for the range lows to be tested and then continuations at the downside. So extremely short to time frames like the 50-minute are looking a bit like you're gonna have a bit more downside. So I don't know if we're gonna fill this gap completely on the 1-hour time frame. Yeah, you didn't really flip anything just yet. You definitely did not flip market structure. If you want to be more, what's the word? More aggressive on the flip of market structure, you'd look for the 1-hour time frame to close above 20,740. If you're looking for to be more conservative, then you're essentially just looking for these highs to be taken. But I think if we do close above 20,740 on the 1-hour time frame, you can take it as a market structure change. But until then, it's not, at least for me. Cool. So essentially, if we continue the upside, which I don't think we are going to, but you're going to get a retest just to fill this fair value gap, then continuation to downside. But for now, we're just going to get continuation to downside. I think we're probably going to stay within this range until tomorrow's New York session. And then after we close below this value or low in the daily term time frame, you're going to be essentially looking for these wicks to be filled down here. We could just take this to this right here. You're going to be looking for these wicks to be filled between 18.5 and 17.9. So we're having some pretty nasty downside targets, assuming we do close below this value area low. Of course, if we don't close below this value area low, you're going to look for market structure to flip. So once again, 20,740. If we flip market structure, then I think we are going to probably retest. The most likely thing is going to be retesting this point of control up here at 21.418 before anything else. So until market structure flips, bias to the downside. But let's take a look at our macro charts that we have set up on Bitstamp. And why my thumbnail says 10K next. So maybe this is better shown on the weekly chart. Yeah. Or not. Where did my levels go? Oh my god. I'm gonna cry. No. Well, I guess I have to do it live, so maybe this will teach you all how to do it live. So I took from this swing low to this swing high, and then we fitted it to, I believe it was 10,500. No. It's this low, this high. 10,000. Yeah, so that's good for now. I'll make it exact later, or maybe we can I just fitted this bottom. Bang. No. Okay, but you get the idea, hopefully. Shit. Hold on. Is that good enough? It's rough. Cool. That's good enough for me for now. I'll make sure I'll redo my levels and look what I had past. I don't know why those got deleted. But Encyclopedia Brown in the case of the missing levels. Yeah, I don't know. They also, I know, the other day, my Bybit chart is, all wiped too, so I don't know. But, I will redo that. However, you can see, even if they aren't exact as they used to be, which I will fix, but, you can see that these have acted as good support and resistance levels, prior, right? Support, flip to resistance, support, flip to resistance, never retested as resistance. Then we just have retest of these of this levels constantly, and we finally lost this level on the weekly time frame. So the next level is going to be essentially 10K, which is just in line with this point of control as well. So you could probably just expect a wick down and a weekly closure above this Fibonacci level. And obviously, we talked about this before on the 4-year cycle, where 510 days before the halving is roughly the week of November 7th. So you're essentially looking for a move down between now and November 7th. So essentially right here, which is seems far away, I think. But when you draw the line, it's pretty much a straight line down. You look daily term time frame maybe, but yeah, this is a pretty nasty move to the downside. So this is essentially what I'm expecting on the macro term time frames. We finally got a confirmation of that, which is great. You know, we just been waiting ever since we lost this level. Just been waiting to see if we actually get a closure below it or something like that. So yeah, looking pretty nasty. We got closure below it and then confirmation candle, continuation candle downside. So macro is not looking too great. Okay, I think that's all I really have to say about Bitcoin. We're just essentially just waiting for it to see if market structure flips, but bias is still to the downside, so shorts should be paying more. Bitcoin Ethereum evaluation, as we do, and then we go to the Ethereum evaluation itself. It's probably got destroyed, or maybe not. I actually don't know. Not the weekly, daily. weekly term time frame. Cool. So we bounced off of one of our levels right here. 72.7. I believe this was just this was just going to be our market structure line, right? We formed, we decided last week that if we do close below this line right here, we would have flipped market structure on the 4-hour term time frame. We did not get that confirmation. We've told it as support. So for now, I would just consider this to be a range. I wouldn't say we're going to continue to downside or anything like that, especially with the way the markets are looking. And all the other coins are looking. However, we are forming a pretty good range. Something to note and something to maybe consider that we might actually break market structure is something we've been talking about, something I've been talking about and trying to like hone in, is how the volume profile itself is actually skewed. So looking at the value area itself, it's not heavily skewed, it's slightly skewed to the upside, but you can see that the point control is heavily skewed to the upside, heavily skewed towards the value area high compared to the value area low. If you want this done visually, this one kind of easy, but sometimes when they're like squished, especially on some other coins, it's kind of hard to tell. So something I like to do is just like draw a little line. So this is the distance between the point control and the value area high. We take this and see, oh my, this is not even close to even, right? So sometimes in other coins you need that, need to kind of do that, as the prices on log scale and everything kind of screw it all up visually. But you can see that the point control is heavily skewed to the value area high compared to the value area low, which gives me the way I look at it is that there's a lot of trapped trapped longs to the upside within this area, so that you're most likely going to break down out of this value area low, which we already did, and then you're most likely also going to get a continuation to the downside, just breaking out of the range completely. So we already got one. Excuse me. You already got one. Just need some water. You already got one piece of criteria hit. You already broke out of this value area low. Now you're just looking for essentially just continuation to the downside. Coming to look at the 4-hour chart, we do have this big fair value gap, which we are filling right now, and the top of this fair value gap, which we do expect to fill at some point, is also a big macro Fibonacci level. I believe it's a 705. Yeah, there you go. 705 Fibonacci level. So coming up to this wouldn't be too unexpected, to say the least. So this doesn't tell us too much because I don't think a lot of us actually trade the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation. But when we come look at Bitcoin Ethereum itself right now, we could just use this as just more or less like an extra confluence, right? So we think on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart that Ethereum it might go up a little bit more just to fill that fair value gap. So let's just look at Ethereum itself and see if we can get a similar scenario. So my two different scenarios from last week was you come back, fill this fair value gap, get continuation downside. Get continuation to the upside, and fill this fair value gap right here, which is also this support resistance level, and then we can continue downside or just range and then sort ourselves out. We did break below it, so I would kind of just invalidate this idea pretty much. So this idea that we're going to come back and bounce to 1785 just seems unreasonable, to say the least. However, I do think you might get a small bounce right here, right? Taking our Fibonacci levels, I believe this was the 786 when looking at it earlier. No, I was very wrong. Maybe I was on daily. Just maybe I was looking at a different coin. I must have been looking at a different coin. But we do have a slight bounce going on, and with confluence of the... let me just get rid of this fair value gap, just clean this up a little bit more. With the confluence of the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation, right, we would expect essentially this fair value gap right above. I'll get rid of this one as well, just because this idea has already been invalidated. Get rid of that. No, we could take this as just a support and resistance level. I'll keep that there. But I'm essentially looking for Ethereum to come back and fill this fair value gap between 1581 and 1565. Do we have any drives of anything? We did have drives of bullish we have one drive of bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame, so that is great confluence that we might get continuation to the upside. Where we look for that to occur, it's going to be Yeah, the 0.5 Fibonacci level is also within that fair value gap, so this has great confluence to reject. We also have a fair value gap with up in here at the 618. That's what I was just about to say, that I think we might actually just reach the 618 with the bullish divergence. So usually, typically, when we see bearish and bullish divergence, we like to see just a pullback to the 618 at the very least. So I think we might actually come back up into this 1609. But where do we find invalidations for all those ideas? Let's just go to small term time frames and we can come up with some stuff. I would essentially take this as a market structure change right here. So you flip market structure already, so this looks for a good continuation of the upside. I think you consider this to be your, so low, so you consider this to be your bearish order block. All right, your last significant move down before the market structure break actually happens right here. These just happen to all be straight green candles. So you filled this fair value gap on the 1 hour time frame. You come back down and get a pullback. I think you're just going to retest at this 1510 level. Nothing of too much significance there. If you want to be more aggressive on whether or not you're going to have more probable upside, I think just looking for a closure below 1496 on the 1 hour time frame will give you that, as has been a very strong support resistance level. So I think the more aggressive, even though it's pretty far away, that's what you'd be looking for. Like, okay, we're probably not going to go upside now, downside potential. But if you want to be like very conservative, especially with this huge move, you'll just look for a closure below this bearish order block on the 1 hour time frame at 1441. But I mean, that's just so far away, that's just kind of unreasonable, so I'll just use this line personally. Cool. So that's my take on Ethereum. Does anybody have any coins you want me to look at? And in the meantime, because there is a bit of a delay between the chat and the stream, I will look at the traditional markets for now. So let's look at if my computer wants to load. There you go. Let's take a look at SPX, and we can maybe look at Dow Jones as well, depending on what everyone wants here. So SPX, we had our levels marked out, blasted through them, which is nice to see. Right, ever since this break right here and this retest, just continuation to the downside. We were looking for like a take profit level at this low, smash through it. Today's session's not too much going on other than it just seems to be just wanting to fill that gap. Yeah, it just seems to be wanting to fill this gap, and you're most likely getting a continuation downside. I'll zoom out again on higher term time frames to see. I'll call this a fair value gap, even though that's not really what it is. But you filled it and then you get a continuation downside. Typical Monday behavior, I think. Just balance out the market, set up the rest of the week. Try to undo the damage from Friday. But yeah, you don't have much going into this. You got this daily support resistance level right here. But you already flipped market structure on different term time frames. On the daily, you could consider this. We'll just move this line. Let me just get rid of all these because they're pretty insignificant. You can consider this to be your market structure low. I might do that on cryptocurrency, but just to be more conservative, especially when we're in a slower moving markets, I would consider this to be your market structure low at 39.10. So you didn't technically fit market structure yet, but we already established that on some alternate time frames. You already did, and now you're in downtrend. So I would take today more or less as a trap. What will invalidate that idea that today's a trap? I mean, this is brutal to begin with. If you start tomorrow's session, or maybe even by today, by forming a lower low and breaking this high, you can then just take this as like a very small uptrend, and that will invalidate the idea that we're going to continue the downside. But for now, I don't just nothing's giving me anything unless there's divergences, which maybe that will play out, and there's not. So yeah, we're just gonna continue downside for me. I think this for the rest of the week. Cool. No coins. No one wants me to look at any coins. Alright, I guess I'll look at the big movers of the day. And we have like the most people in us watching that we ever had. And no one wants me to look at anything. We'll look at the big movers of the day. And then SFP. Swing failure pattern. Okay. Might have taken a look at this coin before. Yeah, there you go. Cool. We did. We have some lines. We have some. So, please ignore my dog in the background. So they just. Even if you can hear that. What we were looking for. I think we were looking for this market structure to finally break. Retest this value. I don't even know where we did this TA, to be completely honest. Should probably start taking note of that. But we retested this value area low, blasted the point control, retested the point control. We could just pull this a bit closer till we broke. We broke out, but yeah. Yeah, we're just treating this as one big range. Right, what I've been saying with these types of coins is that you have to get a continuation candle to confirm that you're actually breaking a volume profile level. So something like this is not breaking through the point of control, right? You would actually have to have one more continuation candle, then I would consider that to be a break. You didn't get that, and we're blasting through, and the target would be this low volume node. You can also just call this a wick, but you can see in the volume profile that you probably have a lot of trapped liquidity up there, and you just need to balance out the market and fill this zone with some orders. So you're just probably going to come up, fill, and then get some continuation downside. Was the actual volume profile itself skewed? I don't think so. No, it wasn't heavily skewed itself. So point control wasn't skewed. But it's good to see that we're probably going to get something there. Are there any divergences forming? Not that time frame, small time frame. You do have a bit of divergence forming on the 15-minute time frame, but this has just been chopping up to begin with, so I don't think you're probably going to pull back a lot on this coin. Where does the idea that you're going to come up to this low volume node at 45.35, 43.25 become invalidated? I would just say once again a closure below this market structure line at 40.20. So that's that. ADA, Doge, audio, you got it. We'll just look at ADA. We'll just go in order to the chat. I'm sorry if the order got messed up for you. ADA. Okay, I don't think we actually looked at ADA too much. We were looking at this fair value gap to eventually get filled, I guess. And I think we've just bounced off of our... Yeah, we're just testing right now our value area low, which is fine. Right, you need continuation candles with these types of coins. I know ADA, people think ADA is like a big name, but the last I traded there was some... not great liquidity. We see that the point control itself is heavily skewed to the downside, alright, heavily skewed to the value area low. The whole value area itself is also skewed. So I would essentially look for, this is giving a bias to the upside. It is a bit hard to be bullish while you're not above the point control, but I would consider this to be fairly bullish. You have bullish divergences also forming on the daily time frame, which is very strong. Your targets for that, we'll just look at the 4-hour. Yeah, your targets for that initially would be the 618. You can just take this swing. You can take this just to be more conservative. You know, 52 25 cents is essentially what you'd be looking for. That's also in line with this 4-hour fair value gap right here, right at 52.51. So a rejection off of this level, or coming up to this level, would be expected. So essentially what I'm looking for, where does that idea get invalidated at coming up to those levels, would be essentially just breaking these lows. I wouldn't invalidate the idea, which would be pretty nasty, right there at 42.35. So if you break below 42.35, which is fairly far away, I mean at this point that's kind of ridiculous notion, but you would look for that idea to be validated, and you just go for your range lows. For small term time frames, right? I just want to stay above 43.73, and then we can just continue upside. I don't think that I personally just don't have a lot of confirmation that this is going to break to the downside. We could treat this as a small range, and we do have a bit of a skew in the point of control, but you already broke below your value area low and spent some time to there. Was that already this skewed? It was. So you just the value area itself was skewed to the upside, so I wouldn't be too concerned with this. But this is looking pretty healthy for upside continuation on, I would say, pretty much all time frames. I'm at least fill this value gap and come up to that 618 that we just talked about. Higher term time frames, I have levels planned out, I think, on Binance. Maybe not. Maybe they also disappeared. It looks like they also disappeared. Maybe it's just on USD perp or USD evaluation. You just had a weekly imbalance. I guess they just wanted to get rid of all my fib levels. I had fib levels on this as well. Just looking at the weekly chart, we did actually fill this huge weekly imbalance with below, close above it. So weekly term time frame is also looking fairly strong. Of course, if you break below these levels, for me, you're essentially just going to be retesting 20 cents, which is a pretty rough move down. If you want to look at the ADA Bitcoin evaluation as well, I think I have macro levels planned out on that. Yeah, so I was just looking at, let me just get rid of this, previous weekly support and resistance levels, and you could have traded this pretty much to a T. All right, this was actually like near your all-time highs for ADA itself. Came up to just ADA Bitcoin weekly level, rejected. This one was respected back here. This one hasn't been respected too much. But back in May, you bounced off this levels. So there is a bit of a divergence between the ADA Bitcoin valuation and ADA USD valuation, where you already pretty much set your low for ADA Bitcoin valuation, but ADA itself is now essentially just right at its lows. So it's interesting to see at the least. The ADA Bitcoin evaluation is looking fairly strong. So it just adds another confluence that you're probably going to get continuation on the side. There's a naked point of control just below, as long as that remains. I traded through, it looks more like it's going to go for some upside. Long time frame, looking at potentially 37, perhaps 29 cents. Yeah, if you do break down, I think I wouldn't be surprised to see one more push down on this swing. We'll see just my take. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a push down below, just because we've been accumulating for so long, especially just like a big wick. It doesn't look good. Right? It doesn't look the best. But I do think you're probably going to have one. I think you're probably going to hold this. Just a bit of a bias, I guess. But I get what you're saying. Taking out all the longs after stops right here would be expected, essentially. I just don't see a weekly closure below this level just yet. Let's take a look at what was another coin you want me to look at? Want me to look at Doge. Doge. Let's look at 4-hour time frame. Looking pretty nasty. You got nasty once you broke this low right here, and you haven't had to pull back into that zone ever since. Daily time frame. Did we invalid? Yeah, this isn't looking good. You could have taken this as like a swing low to swing high, right? You just retested that level exactly. To the T, rejected off of it, now coming back to your lows. If you want to treat that as our range, for whatever reason before I took this as a set, you're going to be retesting this value area low at 59 cents. I don't really know exactly how to say that. This is looking pretty nasty. Where does that idea of coming back down to that level invalidate? I would say, let's just, because it's a shitcoin, let's just go to a bit of a high time frame, so just 30 minutes. Closing above 643 cents would invalidate that idea of coming back to that value area low. But until then, this isn't looking the best. We even need divergences forming. We did have a bit of a hidden bearish divergence, right? Lower high, but higher RSI. So, with those types of divergences, I don't really look for it to pull back into the 618. I essentially just look for it to take its lows, or if it's hidden bull, I heard look for it to take its highs. So, not looking the best. If you want like ridiculously small targets, then you would look for something like this. This fair gap right here, between 626 and 622. Pull Fibonacci levels, you probably have the 618 sitting right at the bottom. So pulling back into this would be a good take profit level on short potential scalp short, but bias still remains to the downside unless you close below that. Audio, cool. I'm like sweating profusely. I don't know why. It's not even that. I mean, it's pretty disgusting out here today, but it's not terrible. Audio. Oof. Not the best. So let me just get rid of these. I think these were just like smaller term time frame levels. Just a quick recap of like how would you just like what happened, right? You just rejected off your value area high. You also performed the swing failure pattern right here. So you have like two major confluences. And then you're gonna come at least pull back, but both like a continuation downside. You came back. You rejected through this point control. Rejected the value area low. You see that actually a lot of volume came in up at the top recently. Mostly it's telling you that this could probably mostly trapped longs. So for that reason, you're probably gonna continue to the downside, right? With a major or with a major skew or like a fast change, something like that. When you're heavily skewed to the one side, a lot of volume had to come out in this area in order to have it skewed back. So more likely continue the downside, and that's exactly what's happening. You rejected off of this value area low. Once again, with these types of coins, you need confirmation candles. So just because you barely close above it doesn't count. You need one, for me at least, it doesn't count. You need one more candle to confirm that you're breaking through it or breaking under it, etc. So you broke below it, and now you're just retesting your range lows. Small term time frames, I don't see this thing coming back. Like, there's no reason, unless there's divergences. There is not, unless there's divergences forming on the daily time frame, there's no reason, for me at least, to see a major continuation to the upside, right? You might get a retest of this value or low once again, but until you get it back above it and have a confirmation candle, etc., there's no reason to be bullish on this thing in the daily time frame. Yeah, looking at smaller term time frames, like something like the 1 hour. All right, where are upside targets for this right now? Going to be, right here. This fair value gap, which if we also take our Fibonacci levels, will also be 6.8, probably right at that. Yeah. It also fills in with the 6.8, so I'm essentially looking for something like this. You might get a small pullback here. Where's my arrow? Cool. All my camera and mic are in front of the screen, so it's a little hard. So something along the lines of this, and then just macro continuation to the downside. Essentially what I'm looking for. If you want downside targets, do we even have downside targets for this coin, or would I have to make them up on my own? Is this on? Okay, cool. Can I just take like from 0 to 2 cents? Oof, this is looking pretty rough. Which is like opposite. After that break, I guess you. No, just joking around. But after the break, I don't see. You have this weekly right here. I think you also like retested this weekly level as well. So your next weekly level would be 19.3. If we took a volume profile of this move to see if we have any, we had probably interest at all within that area. You could essentially just take it here, right? Not too much, but volume does start to come in at this level, so that's good confidence that you should at least get a slight bounce off this level, hopefully. But yeah, I think you're just gonna fall through if you break those lows without no divergences, no swing fade pattern, etc. Where does it invalidate at the idea? That hopefully I'm not repeating myself. But where does market structure flip on small term time frames? I will look for more market structure flip just above this level right here at 31.7 cents. So a closure above 31.7 cents, so you can look for at least short-term time frame continuation upside. But unless you get back above that value or high, it's not probably not going to continue. All right. Well, this is the last chance to put coins in the chat, so do that now. While you do that, make sure to join Discord. Links in the description below. There's a lot of good traders in there. It's completely free and everything, so just join and talk to us. Also, if you trade on like Bybit, I know a lot of you trade on Bybit. Some of you trade on Binance, which is cool if you can, I guess. But some people can't, especially in the United States. We have a link in the description below for 30% all your fees. Make your and take care fees, so 30% off all your fees, so it can save you some money while you're trading. Help out the channel, just help out you as well, because it's better than having full fees. It adds up over time. But if there are no more coins you guys want me to look at, and it doesn't seem like there is, I will bid you all farewell. Thank you all for joining in. It's great to see that the participation, the viewership's going up. Even if it's like just some like, we have like 7 views right now, according to Streamlabs, which is nothing. But it's better than the 2 or 3 that it's been. So it's great to see the progress. It's a 100% increase, so cool. Anyway, thank you all for joining and watching the stream, and I'll see you all tomorrow at the same time. Take care of yourselves. Bye.